Here on Earth is written in third person past tense, but I opened it with a monologue. I'm not exactly sure why, but I just sat down one night and I just wrote this monologue, and I said, this helps a great deal because the monologue allows me to take my central character, Tommy, and you really see his yearning. And that's what this story is about. The story is largely about Tommy's 45 years old. He just got out of prison. The story is largely about Tommy and his yearning, his desire to fix things, his desire to repair generations worth of broken life. You see and you really feel his desire for resolution despite the horrible obstacles he has to face. As fiction works, the moral, the point of the story, or the message of the story is embedded in the events of the story. What we learn in the opening is that Tommy's father was a football player. All of his life he yearned to connect with his father, but we see why he really couldn't. His father's gone now and he has to find other forms of resolution. He's been to prison, he found God in prison, he got sober in prison. He looks for other forms of resolution. He would really love to understand where he came from. He would really love to resolve his past, but we can't fix the past. And that's one of the things that Tommy comes to terms with early on. So we can't fix the past, we can only fix the future. We can work on the present and we can work toward a better future. And his goal is to break the generational cycle of despair and brokenness and not pass that on to his own son. So when I sat down to write the book, I don't know why, but I wrote it as a monologue, and it's really helped a ton. Now, it's important to remember, I know Southerners in particular, Louisiana State University fans even more so, are very particular about their football. The story is not about an actual football player, and it is not about an actual football game. It's entirely fabricated, so please be clear on that. One of the things that Tommy has learned in his life is that his early loss of his father that he's bemoaned and that has tortured him for years and decades, he's finally come to understand there's nothing that he could have done to make it any different as a child, and he's finally come to understand that he can move on. He can move on from both of his parents. He can forgive them for what they took from him, and he can do better by his own son. This is the opening paragraph of chapter 1 of Here on Earth. Daddy didn't break one tackle in the miracle run. I can see it to this day, his two pinky fingers outstretched at a comical angle as he waits for the ball deep in the Tiger's own end zone. That first little stumble as he cuts right, then left, then right again. The clouds of breath that billow from his helmet as he darts and jukes his way through 11 Ole Miss Rebels on that cold November Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, 1968. I've seen the film 1,000 times. I've memorized it. Every little stutter step, every head fake, each imperceptible turn of his hips that vaulted him away from a tackler. I've flat out studied it, looking and looking for something, some clue to my father. But one thing about Daddy, you could study him all day long, and you'd never know which way he was going. People still ask me, how did the Miracle Man run 107 yards with no time left on the clock without breaking one single tackle? I just tell them he didn't have to. When Charlie Turner put his mind to running, nobody even got a hand on him. Tommy has studied his father all of his life. Tommy lost his father when he was a very young boy. And again, it decimated his young life. But the great advantage for him of growing up, of coming to terms with his own loss and brokenness, coming to terms and learning finally to forgive both of his parents, is that Tommy can see that his father, in the end, his father was completely untouchable, as he showed when he made the miracle run in the football game. His father was untouchable and unpredictable, and nobody ever knew where he was going. And as bad as Tommy has felt about this all of his life, and as children sometimes do when their relationship with the parent is broken, or when the parent is broken, as children sometimes do, they try to take responsibility, they internalize that, and he's done that all of his. Tommy's done that all of his life, and he finally has an opportunity to get it right, and. And that's what you learn when you read this book. You see how much Tommy yearns for a better future, how much Tommy yearns to love and forgive his father and his mother, and how much Tommy yearns for a better future, and how much, and in the end, how much hope he feels, how hopeful he feels that he can have a better future and that he can repair things for his own son.